And there you go. We are live. Jeff, welcome to the broadcast. Apparently, we've got, I don't know what we got going on. Bradley, I know, has something that has come up at school, and I don't know where Frank is, but it's you and me for the Empower Half Hour, my friend.
Hey, that's all right, Darren. Thanks for having me. I'm just thrilled to be here with you. Excited, man.
Yeah. All right. Here comes Frank. There we go. There's the guy right there. What's up, brother?
Hello.
Hey,
friends, Romans, and countrymen.
How are you?
I'm very well.
Good to see you guys. Good to see you guys.
Doing just wonderful. Just wonderful. So for everybody who's joining us now or maybe watching the replay a little bit later on, I'm Darren Peppard, and I'm, I guess, coming to you from the temporary headquarters of Road to Awesome here, currently in Cheyenne, Wyoming, in the in-laws living room. So that's currently where I'm at. We'll talk about that story a little bit more in a couple of minutes. Frank.
Great.
From Southern New Jersey. Oh! Just left.
This is going to be a comedy of errors tonight. That's just how it's going to go. Yeah.
With all due respect, Jeff, come on, man.
Frank,
we're coming at you. Congratulations on that book.
Thank
that book
you.
in your life.
Thank you. I'm so excited about that, Frank. Darren, I'm pleased to be here with you tonight from Northern Illinois. And I just got my copy of that book today, Frank. It's
What?
sitting here with me right now. I just got it right now.
What?
Yep.
You just got your copy of your book tonight.
So amazing. Yep. So amazing. It was a moment I will never forget.
So let's dive into that a little bit. So Frank and I have both experienced that. Frank's experienced it twice, with two different books. And that first moment when you get to open up, the Amazon box or whatever it is, and that book is in your hands. I mean, Frank and I'll talk a little bit about our experience, but Jeff, I mean, this was you today. I mean, you texted me, like right after you opened the box.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about what that experience was like. Just,
Yeah.
man, it's your book.
It was unreal. Well, just to go back a little bit, you remember, Darren, we had some difficulties with the actual release day, right? And it was live, and we were ready to promote it, but you couldn't get it. You couldn't. It
was
said
so strange.
Available all weekend long. And then sometimes Sunday night, I wake up on Monday morning and boom, it's available, and we start promoting it. And so I ordered 3 copies right away. And my wife texts me today. I'm at work at the school, and she texts me and says, it's here. And so I live 5 minutes from the school. So I bolt home, of course, right away and open the box. And it was just like, wow. And she goes, you ordered 3 copies? I'm like, well, yeah. I don't know why 3. I don't know why, but I ordered 3. And
that's the number. Yeah.
That was just the number. And to have
if I may just jump in here.
Yeah, come on.
Only 3 copies?
Well,
I ordered 30 of mine the first day.
Step back a minute.
I did. I had a bunch of pre-sold.
Have you known neighbors or friends?
Yeah, of course, Frank. But I'm
hey, you got to throw them out like confetti.
I plan to.
And your kindness and that story that you have. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. It was something, man. It was
So,
something.
Yeah.
If we can back up a minute. So your wife said only 3?
She goes, no.
3 was too much.
She goes, you ordered 3? like how come you ordered 3? I don't know why I ordered 3. I thought I would give a couple away. I don't know.
Yeah, there you go. That's awesome.
How about 20?
There you go.
I'll order 20. Yeah, I'm order more than that, but it was just it was a surreal moment. It was a surreal moment. I'm just thrilled to be able to share the story I've had. It's been percolating in me for a long time, and to finally have it here. And I can't believe it. I'm going to read it over again.
It's it is pretty fantastic. Obviously, being fortunate enough to be the one who got to be your publisher in this process. I've read it several times, and it's just so many powerful stories that are a part of that. But I think I could probably pick out 5 or 6 that we could talk about tonight. But let's start with just this whole process where you open the book with taking your spot in the hot seat. Yeah. And everything that was happening there at the table, including the mayor. Right. So for those who haven't experienced that first interview for the position of principal, what was that like for you? I mean, what are the things that stand out to you?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I see Melissa Wright here. Thanks, Melissa. I'm glad you ordered, and I hope you dig in when you get it on Sunday. So thank you. It was that whole process. That was my first principal job, and that was probably if not my first, one of my very first interviews for the job of principal. I was leaving an assistant principal role. I had been an administrator for 2 years. I was a dean and an AP at a middle school. And so I went into that, not to give too much away, because you got to, I want you to read it to get the rest of the story. But I'm at the interview table, and it's a horseshoe shaped table, and they go around and, introduce everybody, and there's teachers there and some parents there and some other district administrators there. And I get to the center right across from me, and the mayor of the town is there at the interview table for the elementary principal job. And she introduces herself as the mayor. And I'm just thinking, the mayor, why is the mayor here? This supposed to be like, it's an important job. And I think that was the first realization that, wow, the principal gig is an important gig. And it is such a critical decision when you're choosing a principal that's going to lead your building. And I was just blown away. And it was just, it's never happened to me before. Like, the mayor's never been at another interview table. I've been at a few more since then. So, but that was the only time that the mayor's been there. So, and she was indeed a Jedi Knight. It was great, though. It was great. And she called me up and she asked me to go to lunch with her. And again, I'm thinking, I don't have lunch with mayors, but this is cool. This was a unique experience. And that was the kickoff of my first year as a principal. So it was incredible.
Yeah, it's a pretty great story. I mean, definitely, like Jeff said, that's just kind of a little bit of a teaser into the book. You definitely want to have the opportunity to dive in and hear more about that, and hear about, Jeff having lunch with the mayor and a few other pieces that go along with that. But some pretty powerful stuff. I mean, there's no question about that. So as you got rolling into that position, and I know you've obviously been in different principal positions since then. Reflecting now, I mean, I know you're a high school principal now, and maybe explain a little bit more about your current role, because you used to be at one campus, but there was another campus in town, and it's now both campuses of the high school. Just that whole thing. Maybe just share for our viewers just exactly what all goes into being the principal in your current role.
Sure. Well, in my current space, I'm a high school principal, and I started in this role 5 years ago. I've been an elementary, middle school, and now high school principal. Never thought I'd be a high school principal. But again, it was my wife who called me one day while I was at work and said, "Hey, your next job just opened up." And I'm like, "What? What are you talking about?" And sure enough, it was for the high school, and I pursued it because I couldn't get out of my mind then, and I landed it. And so 2 years ago, we decided that we needed to do something with we're a 2 high school district, East Side and West Side, and I'm the East Side principal. I was the East Side principal, still am, but I'll tell you more about that in a second. So we passed a referendum, and one of the things that the community wanted to do to save this beautiful 100-plus-year-old East Side building is to create a freshman campus out of it, and turn the West Side High School into the upper campus of 10th through 12th graders, and add on a 70,000 foot addition, or just 70,000 square foot addition to the building, the Center for Science, Technology, and Industry. And then the West Side principal retired, and I became principal of the district. So I'm principal over both buildings, the freshman campus and the upper campus. The buildings are about 6-7 minutes apart, so not too far apart. And I've got an incredible administrative team that runs the day-to-day operations here at the freshman campus, where I'm sitting right now, and while I'm over at the upper campus, and I come over here once a week. So that's it in a nutshell. I mean, it's a pretty incredible gig. I thought I'd be tired out, running back and forth across town, running both campuses. But like I said, I don't even need to worry about the freshman campus during the day, because the team is so incredible over here. I'm tired out because I have 1,700 kids at the upper campus. I'm used to 600.
Yeah, that's a big adjustment.
Yeah, for sure. So it's an exciting story, and it's our first year for it. We're 7 weeks in, just about, and I mean, I think it's going how everyone expected it to go. There's going to be bumps in the road as we figure out this new transition. We're in a pandemic, and we're building essentially almost not a new high school, but we're changing the whole structure of how we operate in the district during a pandemic. I mean, it's crazy to think that we accomplished all that, but here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about this, Jeff? You are so jacked up. I mean, you keep going blam blam, and you should be. Do you know why? Because everyone has a story, and now you are empowered to tell your story.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when I saw, well, I mean, you and I go back a long way. Well, like 6 months at least, but
At least, probably more than that, Frank. A little
but
more than that.
you get me fired up because you're fired up about telling your story. And you and I, we both, and Darren, keep telling people you have to start telling your story. And if you don't, somebody else will,
It's so true.
and you might not like the ending.
So true. So true. Well, I think that, I think that just what you just said, like if you don't tell your story, somebody else will. And I also think that, the fire and the passion, I love that grandfather clock, Darren. I know that's behind your in-law's house.
Yeah, there's another one that's going to go off in a second. That's why I hit mute, because they're like not synchronized.
That's great.
That's beautiful.
You know what I find? I find though that, I think that through the years, this is my what is this, 25 or 26 years in education, 19 of 20 of them in administration, right? I think I've found that, like, if you're running down the hallway and you don't normally run down the hallway, somebody's going to think that something's wrong, right? Somebody's going to think there's a fire, right? So if you can capitalize on that and think about that for a minute, if you're bringing the passion and the energy and you bring the fire every day, people are going to feed off of that, and it starts to develop this culture, right? So
Yes.
I just and I don't think that everybody has to be that way. Everybody doesn't have to be like I've been accused of being like, Jeff, can you calm down at 6 a.m. right? I mean, that's just me, right?
Hey, you're talking to the wrong two guys. Nobody's. We're not going to talk you off that wall.
Yeah, I know that. But that's just me, and I don't think you have to be like that to set the tone or to develop a good culture in your school. You don't have to do that, right?
Yeah.
I think that's just how. That's
no, but you have to be yourself. And I think that's exactly what you're getting at is, I'm not going to run around in a pair of gold tennis shoes like Frank will, but hey, I'm not saying it's wrong, dude. Your gold shoes are amazing, but that's awesome. Not me. That's Frank. And when Frank does that, I mean, that is just, dude, his speaking shoes are off the chain. My way of bringing it is a little bit different. Your way, Jeff, is a little bit different. This guy right here that I just popped up, Jeff Springer. When Jeff Springer brings it, dude, he brings it in a whole nother way. Know. So yeah, here you go. See, it's silver tennis shoes for him. So we've got to get Springer and Frank connected for sure. But the point I think that you're making is you don't have to run around like your hair's on fire to bring the energy. Everybody brings it in their own unique way.
Right.
The key is you still got to bring it, right?
Every day.
You still got to bring it.
Every day. Bring it every single day. I'm just, like Springer says, it's a great day to be alive. And I try to model that, I try to model that every single day for people so that, they just feel like they're welcomed and wanted. And I'm not going to wear silver or gold tennis shoes, but to your point, Darren, I mean, I'm going to be me, I'm going to be who I am. And that's maybe loud and in your face and excited all the time and real, honest and telling my story, just to being truthful about that. So I think that's what you have to do. And maybe that's wrong. Maybe that's
Yeah.
wrong. Maybe I don't know. But that's what kind of like the idea for becoming principal. You know, the book, going back to that for a second, it's just like how did I become principal? You know, from where I came from, how did I become principal? And when I started thinking about that, I'm like, I've got to tell this story, you know, because I've just got to
Yeah.
get it out.
Hey, Jeff,
Frank,
how couldn't you become principal? Are you kidding me?
It's a great question.
I don't know how to answer that. I don't know how to
Mm.
answer that. Like, I don't know. Right? The magician, Frank. I mean, how did,
Jeff, you know exactly how to handle this.
yeah.
Eh, I'm my heart's pounding out of my chest because of your passion here.
Well,
To bring it
I,
and keep bringing it.
I'm glad, man. I'm glad that I can fire you up and pump you up and like I said, man, you know, I hope to be able to do that, and I hope that I do that every day for kids. And you know, I mentioned that. Thank you, Jeff Springer, man. I love you, my brother. I mentioned that, you know, I never thought I would be a high school principal because my high school experience itself, right? And so, but now that I'm here, I'm like, oh, damn. I mean, this is why I'm here. You know, it's to be with these kids because they just, you know, I don't know, they fire me up.
So
Well, that's an excellent question. You never thought you would be here. Why is that?
Never.
But why?
I yeah, I mean, some of it's in the book, you know, some of it's from you know, my past and history, and some of it's from my horrible high school experience when I was a student, you know. I was 2 years at a Catholic high school, and then one point my mom asked if I wanted to go to public school. My mom and stepdad were having some problems, and so I jumped at the chance and you know, had a great time, but with the wrong people, you know. So it's just, you know, my teenage years were rough, and my struggles, and I just maybe it was just something like internally that I never thought that I never wanted to step foot in a high school again, right? But then, like I told you, my wife called me that one day and she said, "Your next job opened up," and I got to be my son's principal for 2 years, and so that was the other thing about the high school, right? I mean, it was so great, but the I don't know, it might have bought me some social capital, you know, because I knew all these kids going in because they were my son's friends and they'd been over to the house. So it might have bought me a little social capital because we had a great time, and I just end up thinking like, why was I scared about, you know, stepping into a high school again? Because I thought all the kids would be taller than me. I don't know. That's a dumb reason, right? I don't know.
But you know, I think that's something that's pretty common. You know, some people. I remember one time I was on an airplane once, and I'm sitting next to this lady. You know, and you know, when you get on a plane, you can, you know, put in your headphones, pretend you're asleep, or actually go to sleep, or you can, you know, have a conversation. And this lady, I mean, she talked my ear off like the entire flight, but at a point she's like, "Hey, what do you do? What do you do for a living?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm a high school principal." Her response was, "Oh, I'm sorry." And I'm like, "Well, no, I actually applied. I mean, I said yes when they offered it. I was done like it was some kind of a sentence." But your ability in that role to impact kids is just unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
But yet there is sometimes this stigma, you know, either from the outside or even from the inside, where you think, is that really, you know, I mean, is that really what, you know, the role I want to have? And, you know, like you, I mean, I had the same experience. I was my daughter's principal for 3 years, and boy, you can't replace that. You know, you just can't. And, you know, the truth of the matter is, you know, when you're passionate about it and you care about it, and, you know, in that particular case, you know, going in with a little bit of social capital and relationships, most importantly, there you go, Frank, 69 episodes in a row, relationships.
You did it.
But, you know, being able to build and already have some of those relationships with kids, I think probably made a huge difference for you and allowed you to build some momentum. So, here's what I want to dive into, because as Frank always says, it's our fastest half hour of the week.
Yeah.
And we're already down to the point where we have like 7 minutes left. It's flying. let's dig into something just real quick before we talk just a little bit more about the book and then some other things you got going on. You have an award that just came your way here not too long ago, and I understand here in October you're going to have some recognition for that. So talk just a little bit about that, and I mean, yeah, tell everybody what it is, but more importantly, when you reflect upon it, and having that come your way, what does that mean to you, and what does that kind of, I don't know. You know what I'm asking with the question.
Yeah, I do. I do. And it's just so, talk about another surreal moment. I mean, listen, we don't go into this job as educators to win awards. Sure, it's nice to get recognition, but we're here for the kids, and we're here for teachers and in communities, right? That's why we're here. But yeah, I did win the 2021 Illinois High School Principal of the Year, and during a pandemic, right? It was just surreal. I'm still blown away by that, to be recognized by my peers and my colleagues, and I'm just, I think it's a great platform. I'm so appreciative of the Illinois Principals Association, and it's just a surreal moment, to be able to win that, and it was such a surprise, such a surprise. I literally had no clue. People always say like, "Oh, come on, you had to have known something," but I had no. When I was pulled into the gym that day, I was just blown away. I had no idea. So wow. 2020 ended with quite a bang. 2021 has been quite a year so far, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Incredible.
So Jeff, one last question.
Yes,
How
sir.
do you bring this all together when you walk out your door tomorrow and you are, first of all, amazing? You had me on your podcast before, but
Yeah.
the whole book thing. If everybody had as much enthusiasm that you do about this book, then everything will be changed. It will be a shift. So give it to us.
Yeah.
Give
Yeah.
it to us how you invented this whole I'm going to write a book thing.
Yeah, Frank. That's a good question, and I had mentioned to you that it was percolating for some time, and I think it has a lot to do, believe it or not, when I turned 50. I turned 50
Which,
almost a year.
which was when?
October.
Tomorrow?
Well, it's 51's next year, Frank. Or next month, Frank. So I turned 50 about a year ago, and I really spent. That's significant because I spent a lot of time. I started reflecting on my career so far and my life so far, and all the things that that we've been through. I've got just a fantastic wife and 8 kids. We have 4 biological kids and 4 adopted kids, and I started thinking about my blessings, and the that I have been able to do this work with kids, that I've been given that gift, and why I don't know. But when I started thinking back about it, that I thought, my goodness, my administrative career was so um, predicted by that first elementary job. Everything that I knew and know now was because of that school, because of those kids and those teachers and those parents and that community. Everything. Becoming. I thank them in the acknowledgments because they helped me to become principal. They helped me to become principal. My wife, and I point that out to her in the very end, in the epilogue, uses another word. She calls it like a realization, like it was always here. I just had to realize it. And maybe she's right. But I credit that community. And that's a picture of my actual desk on the front cover. That's that elementary school. For some reason, I had that picture. You can see my BlackBerry phone right there. that's my desk at that elementary school. And you know what? I mean, that made me who I am, along with my family. But as a principal, that school and those kids made me who I am, and those teachers. So
That's
incredible.
awesome, man. I just love that. All right, here we go into our last minute here. So it's time
right.
for some final thoughts. And up first will be, let's see, Frank.
Hey.
Hello. I salute the greatness in you. Peace and love always win. But this whole journey, to see Jeff so pumped up and psyched up about his story, gives it to me. Thank you. Next.
Final thoughts, man. First of all, I thank you guys for having me on the show tonight, and very much appreciate it. I appreciate everyone watching tonight, or everyone who's going to watch, and I hope that you find, along your journey, who you are, and I hope you become that person because it's within you. It really is. So thank you guys.
Outstanding. So I guess I'll just say this, my final thought, and I'm going to kind of build a little bit on what Jeff said. Everybody has a story, and everybody's story is worthy of being told. And when you have those moments and you have that opportunity to tell your story, capitalize on it, take it and run with it, and own your story and be proud of who you are and the story that you have, because we all have those defining moments. Jeff just talked about when, all of it, he goes back to being principal at that school. And that's where he learned so much. We all have those defining moments, and those defining moments are crucial to our story. So don't be afraid to tell your story. You got to do those things, man. That's what it's all about. So with that, hey, everybody get out there and have a road to awesome week.
All right, guys.
Jeff, thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy your homecoming week. Don't get injured at the Powder Puff game, because that's when principals can get hurt, man.
No, that's the best night of the year. One of the best nights of the year. Heading back over to the Powder Puff. Come on, seniors and juniors. Come on.
There you go. Right on. Enjoy.
Thanks, guys.
Later.
Have a good night.